Now, I got a personal letter from you, as did every other person in the business,
You're
I'm
going to
sure.
tell everybody what it said on here, aren't you? Like, no, we're not gay.
And
no.
I won't tell you about the PS there. About new directions with this album. There's a lot you guys have to say, especially with the lyrics.
This is a very serious record. I would like it to be taken seriously. It deals with a lot of social conscious issues. Primarily drug abuse, which I feel is the single biggest problem we have, not just in America, but in the world. It deals with terrorism and things like that. And I spent 15 months making this record. And I came to the conclusion that after I had had some time off, I went for 4 years and my feet didn't touch the ground. And I'm the kind of person that prides himself in having himself together. And I'm here to tell you folks, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. And when you go for such a long period of time, like I said, your feet don't touch the ground, you have to back off for a while and literally become reacquainted with yourself. And one of the things I discovered was that about 95% of the guys that do what we do for a living,
as in rock and roll.
Yes. Yeah. Don't really know the amount of responsibility that they have. And I didn't either until about 1.5 years ago, like I said. Because what happens is, see, you think, well, you know, I'm just me. You wake up in the morning, you look terrible, you know you do. You put on your pants the same way as everybody else. And so therefore you think what you're saying is really not that important. But what happens is that you go do a television show or you do a radio show somewhere and, you know, some kid is out there and he hears this rock god on the radio. He's believing every word that guy is saying. So you get to a point where you start to look around at what's around you. When I was doing or writing the lyrics for the Headless Children, somebody said, well, where'd that come from? I said, well, over the interim as it was developing, I said I'd go home every night and I'd watch the news, and that's what I saw every night. I mean,
yeah.
we did a thing for this show where we're using a thing called reverse screen projection in the show, and I edited film for 6 weeks on it, and I saw about 50 years worth of hell condensed into about 7 minutes. And I don't want to preach to anybody or try to become their father or whatever. I understand that talking about drug abuse within this genre could be deemed as a very unattractive or unpopular point of view. But the things that I'm saying now are not an opinion, they're fact.
We'll talk more about this. We got to show a couple of videos, but hold the thought. We'll be right back with more. Right now is Lita Ford, Ozzy Osbourne, Close My Eyes Forever. Children, also about the Headless Children being the Headless Children. You covered the Who song, The Real Me. How does that fit in with this theme?
Well, we were talking about very serious subjects a while ago, and one thing that I want to get across to people is that the image of WASP and or myself for so long was this larger-than-life type thing.
Bloody, gory,
yeah,
cool thing.
Oh, that too, saw blades, you know, looked like I stepped out of an ad for Black & Decker, you know. But the things that we're trying to say now, that image can't say anymore. People have to understand that these feelings and these reflections of what's happening in the world today have to come from an honest-to-God human being. In other words, I've got to open myself up to let people see what's really going on inside me. And I thought, what a great way to say that musically. It's like, can you see the real me? I was in London about 2 months ago, and I sent Peter Townsend a copy of the song, and I thought, well, you know, I'm never going to hear from the guy, whatever, you know. And he sent me a letter back, and he said that he very, very much liked it. And he said a couple other technical things, and at the bottom of it, he signed it, Love, Pete. And I got to tell you, folks, I mean, here's the man that I learned my craft of writing lyrics from. Definitely made my day.
Did you frame it?
No, I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I'm going to keep it somewhere for safekeeping.
Now, I just want to ask, you said that about 1.5 years ago you realized that, that there is an important message that can be portrayed in rock and roll. What was it, a personal experience that just
well, I think, you know, over a period of time, you know, you start to think sex, drugs, rock and roll. You know, that's all everybody cares about. Nobody wants to hear about anything else. And after you talk to the fans over a period of time, I mean, we're going on our 6th year of making records now, you start to realize that there is more to life than news, weather, and sports, you know. And there are some folks that care about what's going on. I mean, I don't want to preach to anybody or anything. You know, if I want to go out and have a few drinks, that's my business. You know, the only thing I'm trying to say to folks is take a little responsibility for yourself. Don't get in a freeway out here or get in a car, go on a freeway and kill some man and his family. You know, have a good time, do whatever you want. Just don't blow up the guy next to you. That's what this record's all about.
We're going to take a look at the video for The Real Me. This was done by Jim Yukich.
Yes.
Well, did he do this just after he did the Debbie Gibson video?
You heard that, did you? Well, you know, we weren't supposed to talk about this, but yes. And there was some, you heard about that, huh? Well, what happened is that she rented, apparently it was a rather expensive video that she did, and if any of you people know anything about the way rental companies work and cameras and things like that, if you rent on Friday, you keep it until Monday. It just so happens we shot on Sunday, you know. I'll leave it to your imagination. You can fill in the blanks.
And here it comes, WASP, The Real Me. More of the Headbangers Ball for you right now. Adam Curry along with Blackie, Lawless of WASP. Taking the show out on the road again?
Yeah, this thing is kind of interesting. I don't know if they showed this, the album cover or not, but what we're going to
it'll happen right now.
Okay.
Magically appearing.
What we're going to attempt to do is to bring this album cover to life, and with the skull and all that you see in the background, that will be the backdrop. These people that you see here are all obviously, I mean, they're the real party boys.
Yeah, the Ayatollah.
Oh yeah, they're
Hitler.
all in there, all the fun guys. And we, like I said, we're going to attempt to bring this to life. We're going to take those images and bring them forward off of the screen so they're actually three-dimensional. And we're using a thing called reverse screen projection in the tour, where the drum riser starts to levitate. And as it does, it turns into a giant television set. It's about 12 feet across. And you then start to see how all these guys became famous. And it's some pretty, like I said, I edited these films for about 6 weeks. And I'm here to tell you, when I'm up singing The Headless Children, and you see Hitler behind me doing a speech at Nuremberg, there's some really heavy stuff. But I want it to be taken in the proper light, because you have to understand that a lot of people might deem this as being sensationalism or something like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to run a trailer before the show, something to the effect that where the lights go out. It's like a film if a film needs set up, you know. It will say something to the effect that, make no mistake, the band in no way are trying to glorify what it is that you're about to see. If you do not learn from history, then you're damned to repeat it. We will run that in the native language of every country that we go to, so there is no mistake about what we're doing, because this is some really hairy stuff. I mean, when I was in Europe a couple of months ago, I was in Germany, and they made me aware that they had just had their national elections about 2 weeks before we were there. They have a new Nazi party, and they won 13% of the vote.
It's a scary thought,
I mean, these guys just don't get it, man. I mean, how many times you got to hit them over the head? So hopefully this show will bring some of that to light.
So you're going to go to Germany?
Yeah. We're going everywhere.
That's good. Oh, just one question. Frankie Banali of Quiet Riot.
Yes.
Is he going to be going along on
the road?
Because he helped
We're
out the
all
album?
one big happy family now.
Great. Well, thank you very much for dropping by. I'll be looking forward to the show, and whenever you're in town, just
bye-bye.
come on by.
Bye, Bonds.
Right now, Cinderella coming home.